Saturday morning. It is time for the preview show. Joining me is Rafa. We're going to do kind of a quick recap of the Phoenix Rising match. And we may address it more later on tomorrow night as well. Royce is going to be joining us in a few for that here. And, we'll go into the preview against the Miami FC. Who are probably one of the few teams that have a winning record at Toyota Field and head-to-head against SanAntonio FC. But Rafa, how are you? We're 2/3 of the way through the state championship finals. Late night news broke that Highland Park forfeited their title and it went to Liberty Hill. So never a dull moment in UIL.
Yeah, I was on with 50/50 podcast last night. We had like a midnight show with Coach
Did it
Hano
happen
and
during it or
what
afterwards? The news about Highland Park.
So about 10 o'clock, I get a text from Coach, and he mentioned to me that the UL made a decision on that they had an ineligible player. Now, the details have come out this morning. Like I said, we didn't know if it was the same situation like with Progresso and Valley View. Was it because of residency and so forth? My hunch was I thought maybe it had to do with grades. Sure enough, it had to do with grades.
Hold on. Hello, Rafa. It sucks Club America out of the CCL. We suffer again, but we could really do is try to win the 4th championship. By doing so, they'll be making history. So
yeah,
Club
I think
America's
they're focused on that.
Champions
League, yeah,
or whatever Champions Cup, whatever it's cup.
Yeah.
So, but our good friend Diet Kool-Aid, also Rafa's nemesis.
So yeah, that this morning it was reported that I guess a teacher saw the player in question get subbed on and he played, and I don't know, it's I feel bad for those players that go all that to win it and then to take it away. No fault at all at Liberty Hill. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. It's happened before in the past. I don't know if you remember Dallas Carter. They won the state championship against Judson, and then they had an eligible player. Judson gets the title. So it is what it is, and we'll see more. I have a feeling we're going to hear a little more about it further today. But like I said, there's 4 great matches, so if you have a chance, check it out on NFHS Network. I think right now we have Houston Stratford versus Louisville Marcus for the girls. I think it was the D1. So
D2,
check
D2's
that.
first.
D2 too. Okay, D2. Oh, yeah.
First. I want to also shout out Southwest, the Dragons. They ended up falling in extra time to a great team from Walnut Grove, 3-2. So tough loss to go out, but outstanding season. To me, that was the game of the week so far. There was, I think it was the first girls one that went extra. Went to PKs as well.
PKs, yeah. Wimberley and Canyon Randall.
Which Canyon Randall won that as well over Wimberley. Davenport also lost to the Dynasty, Salina 2-1 in a very competitive match. So maybe not the results we wanted, but the results that we got. And but shout out to Southwest. We're going to try to do a recap show.
Yeah.
Sometime this week. Work's been super crazy for me. Let me see if we can bring on Royce. See if the feedback's off a little bit better. Royce, how are you doing? Are you there, Royce? Can't hear Royce.
He might be working on some things.
So, just to kind of recap the Phoenix Rising, match. Um, on CBS, 2-1 to Rising. The evil empire from the desert gets us again. Um, to me, and like I said, we'll probably address it more. I think this loss goes more on Coach Lamosa for the first time, on his lineup with Agudelo up top with Luke and Lacava. Um, I personally don't think you can start Luke and and Juan Agudelo because there's no speed. If you're getting, it's okay to start one of them, but you need somebody with speed to be able to test it along those lines, especially with how SAFC plays. It just unfortunately did not happen. They had plenty of chances in the first half to take advantage of the game. A little bit unlucky, in my opinion, on the referee calls for that here, but it is what it is. To me, like I said here, there were some warning signs, and even though I was confident that I thought they would win, there was it's always Phoenix. It's kind of like the RGV. They typically tend to sneak up on us and get points that nobody thinks that they can get. Your thoughts on it? Like I said here, I know you were in the bunker. I spent some time with you in the bunker. If you want to kind of recap your side.
Yeah, we. I think the lineup really didn't. As far as I think it would cause some mismatches. Also in the midfield, we had one player that's kind of his first start, a little inexperience, um, and then also not having Mitchell Tanner back there to kind of anchor the defense. And I know we were letting them penetrate too much in our on our final third. And I mean, kudos to Phoenix getting getting their scoring on their opportunities and so forth. We just couldn't kind of get it going. We started forcing things, and um, maybe hopefully they'll look at this. But honestly, I think our lineup has to be. We have to have like a speed up top, and that's something that maybe Aguadella would have been best if when we have a lead and we need to hold on to the ball to kind of slow things down. I think that's when he's probably at best to bring in. But maybe it's having Pacheco, you know, a three head, kind of basically a three head monster on top to just attack. Because like I said, Phoenix's defense had been their weakness the last couple of games, and we just never exploited that. We just kind of never pressured them, and that's what we need is if we know they're out players, they have injuries or cards, we got to exploit that, and we'll see what type of lineup we'll have today. Um, and like I said, it's a learning experience. It's just one loss. I know there were some they're asking for coach's head, and you should put yourself in that shoes, see if you can do kind of come up with a lineup. It's just one game. You learn from that and you move on. And like I said, this is going to be the first time. How does Yamosa bounce back from a loss? We've seen it with Marcina in the past. This is the first kind of like I said, it's been a long time to see a different coach kind of bounce back from that situation.
So moving to Miami FC. One final note: it was on CBS. They drew numbers bigger than the final last year with a high mark of 750,000 people that was watching.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair to SanAntonio FC, they did a great job hosting it. Stadium looked great. The atmosphere was great. I hadn't heard. Now I've been super busy this week with work and family stuff, which is the reason why we didn't have a show for that here. But to me, like I said here, I thought solid performance all around. Obviously the performance didn't happen, but it is what it is. Um, because work was so crazy, I didn't get to where I wanted to talk with Kartik Kushner. With my, he does covers a little bit of the Miami FC. Would have been a good preview. So looking at the preview for here with the Miami FC, not Inter Miami FC but Messyville. Head to head, as I mentioned up at the top, 2-1 in favor of the Miami FC. They are also 1-0 in San Antonio. So this is something through here. And the Miami FC had 3 wins last year. One of them was against San Antonio FC as well in a 2-1 loss. Injury wise, Mitch and Osorio is listed as questionable. So my question to you, from everything we've heard, it's not super serious. Do you hold them out another week, or with that loss, do you bring them back if they're healthy to play?
It's gonna be 11 games till the next game, which is on the 23rd, a
11
Wednesday
days.
game against Colorado. I mean, you could roll the dice and maybe sit Mitch out for
And Mitch
you
is the one
know
in question.
yeah
Nothing against
Osorio.
Osorio.
Yeah, I
Um,
think like I mean we saw Osorio after the games. He looked fine to us. You can even ask Matt that. I think Mitch, like I said, it's probably how he feels. I mean, he could literally play this game because he's still going to get 11 days of rest. Because I know we do have a cup game coming up. More than likely, he probably won't play that game. So I think if you want to kind of shake off maybe a little before he gets any rusty, get this is probably the perfect game to play for him. And he doesn't have to go all 90 minutes. You can play him up to 60, 70, and then sub him out. And like I said, we do have other players that we can put in that spot. So uh, I think this one's going to, before into the Colorado game. This is a must win. You have to get the points. If you saw what happened last year, you know I think this is one of the points that we should have had that kind of cost us the playoffs. And so you have to get these 3 points, and then you cannot let up on this team. So and that's probably on that psyche is like, hey, they've had the best of us the last couple of games. So I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if we see him on the pitch for tonight, since he may have like those 11 days to rest.
I'm trying to just check here. Moving on to the lineup here. So last week they loaded up with Bill Hamid and goalkeeper, veterans goalkeeper, U.S. men's national team experience, solid player. Alejandro Matrano, Dalton Knutson, Jonathan Ricketts, Aaron Olke, Matias Romero, Akindo, Alan Gabanis, Lucas Milano, uh, Bonfiglo, and Christian Vasquez. However, that's what they lined up last week in a 4-3-3. However, they have also lined up in a 3-4-3, a 4-1-2-1, 4-1-2-1. That's too many, right? 7. A 4-1-2-1-2, a 4-3-1-2, 4-3-3, or 4-2-3-1. Bonifigo is the one that we have to worry about. They also have Sebastian Blanco, and they did beat Inter Miami to an Open Cup in the last match. But prior to the match, they lost to Inter Miami, or not Inter Miami, New Mexico United 1-0 in Miami. On our side here, we went, as we already touched base, with LaCava, Agudelo, Hawkinson, Jorge Soto, Lucio Baron, who gets his first start. Madranda, Sohei, in for Taintor, Cronali, and Juan Sebastian Osorio. But me and Royce is throwing our hands up on trying to guess what coach is going to do, because every time we think we've got it figured out, because the first 2 weeks he was, hey, we're going to kind of keep things similar. And since then, it has been anything but similar. I would expect Juan Sebastian's probably going to be out. And would you think it'd either be Reese, or do you think we see Gomez, who's returned back from international duty?
I would think it'd be Gomez,
Gomez.
or it could be Buckmaster too.
Yeah, either one of those. Mitch, for Sohei, or through here. Lucille Baron. Thoughts on him starting there?
Good player. I think it was the wrong game for him to start, and one of the goals leading, I guess, to that winning goal, had he basically kind of taken the foul and get a yellow card, probably this game ends up in a tie. And but that goes to a lack of experience.
Or San
And
Antonio, because San Antonio had kind of took control because
mhm.
they had scored, brought back momentum. But yeah, whenever they answered right back, that pretty much killed it for them.
We're allowing a lot there in the middle too, and it looked like we were off. So I want to be surprised if we see, like I said, with the Osorio, I want to be surprised if we see Omar in. Like I said, Omar does have experience there playing there, um, especially if they went kind of shut down the Miami forwards. So that's a possibility. Um, uh, like I said, I think you have to put someone. Like I said, Miami's, like I said, got some experienced forwards. You got to put some experience there in that, especially in the holding mids. Make sure to keep them in check. So,
Bring back
but I would,
Nikki.
yeah, I would really bring back Nikki. Like I said, it can be Omar, one of those two. I think you can tell when we have Nikki on the field, we do a lot of. I think we do a lot of damage, and it's more comfortable with Jorge. Feels comfortable. It's kind of like it's kind of security blanket there. So I think this is one that I think you have to definitely start because, like I said, you do need these 3 points before the Colorado game.
So I know, and I know Royce has kind of talked about this, and Robert, he'll never admit it publicly, but in private, he mentioned that Juan Agudelo needs to have somebody that has speed with him. So, do you keep Juan in, or do you bring Alex Grieve in, assuming that he's healthy with Luke Hawkinson, who has played well,
Mm-hmm.
or do you keep Agudelo in and bring in Pacheco? Because you can't.
I,
To me, you can't have both. You gotta have one or the other.
I think you bring Grieve in. I think Grieve does a lot of his role is to one thing is we got to press their defense. We gotta go after them. Um, Agudelo fits more when we have a lead towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Plus with his experience, he knows how to hold on to the ball, distribute. Especially on counterattacks. Here we have to have some guys up front. They're going to go after their defense. And that's the thing you must have mentioned about playing the press. We got to press, and that's something that we kind of did what we did against Oakland. To we kind of smother them there and end up getting that goal. So if we know their defense is very suspect, you got to put pressure on them, and I think that's the lineup we need to have. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised also if you put start Pacheco too. If you want to be really aggressive, you could literally do that too. Um,
In for Hawkinson.
yeah, you can if you really want to go after them. But even in that situation, you can also play a 4-4-2. I mean, you can have two strikers up top. Uh, move Jorge, like I said, as the attacking mid, um, and play pretty much a diamond in the midfield. Uh, that's a possibility there. You know,
Because LaCava and Grieve are going to be your two forwards, right?
or it could be Pacheco and Grieve. You can do one or
And
the
then
other.
move Nikki to this
Eh,
side.
Yeah. So you can do that. Now, if Mitch doesn't play, like I said, do they go to a 3 back? Do you go to a 3-4-3 or three five
No,
two? Which he kind of did a little bit in that game, but that I think that could be an ideal lineup right there. Like I said, Jorge will have some space there to kind of distribute, but also attack through the middle. But we have our two forwards that can go after, and that's the thing, we need to go after their defense and
yeah.
cause turnovers and create chances.
So keys to the match from Royce. Royce having some technical issues, so he isn't going to be able to join us. Normally we work out the technical issues super early, but life's been super crazy for me this week, so I apologize to everybody. He said score early and often, don't let off the brakes, and got burned last year for scoring early and coasting. Learn from the Phoenix match from that here. I do think if you look at this is a better Miami team. It's a more senior veteran team. If you look at their scores, they lost 1-0 to New Mexico United at home. They lost 2-1 against Tampa Bay, who's struggling. They lost 3-1 to Indy. They lost 2-0 to Miami FC. Um, so really, their first. Wow, actually, this will be their first away match. Yeah, this will be their first away match. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. So yeah, so this is through 4 matches. They played them all at home and lost all 4. So it'll be interesting to see how Miami FC looks coming out for here along those lines here. Um, Normally we do predictions here, so you get to be Oh, I need to go back to that screen here. You get to be the Royce here because we're kind of unprotected here. Hartford. So, and the reason why I'm going to give a 1-week ban to Royce last week. He finished with 3 wins. I finished with 6 wins in our predictions here. Week before it was 4-3, but where I doubled them up, that is a 1-week ban for that here. You can do ties. So Hartford and Indy. I'm going Indy. Are you picking Indy for Royce, or are you picking Hartford for Royce? And you
Indy,
if you
Indy.
want to tank
It'll
Royce,
be
I'm all
Indy.
for that too.
Yeah, Indy shit. Yeah, Hartford's been stinking it up.
Lexington or Vegas?
I go Vegas. That's at Vegas, right?
No, it's at Lexington.
Uh
I'm going Vegas. I think
yeah,
they're a
I'll go
better team.
Vegas.
I
Yeah.
think if people look, Lexington has not been the same since San Antonio came back from that 2-0 lead. Probably an interesting one. Charleston at home versus Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I haven't looked. Let me look at the table here.
I go Charleston on this one.
They've been struggling though.
Or it could be a tie.
7 points, 6 points. Yeah, I'm gonna go a draw.
I'll go.
You said you're going Charleston, or are you going
Yeah,
draw?
I'll go Charleston. I'll go Charleston. I think they win a close one. It'll be a low scoring game.
Rowdy's under a new coach, or Loudoun United, who leads surprisingly the East, even above the USL Darlings, Louisville City.
Loudoun.
You're going Loudoun. I got a sneaky feeling.
Well, here's the thing: is we don't know what the psyche is as far as of the players. With the loss of their coach.
I'm going the Rowdies though. I think I'm going leaning Rowdies for that here. But Loudoun is a Royce specialty. He likes them. Tulsa, Oakland. We're going Tulsa.
Tulsa.
They're at home. Although this is typically a game that Tulsa loses. I'm assuming we're both and everybody would be going SAFC over Miami. New Mexico United hosting North Carolina FC in kind of a sneaky match. North Carolina's 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. New Mexico's 3-0-1 at the lab in New Mexico. I'm going New Mexico United.
Yeah, New Mexico.
Monterey Bay, second at 10 points, 3-1-1, going against the Switchbacks, 1-2-1, 5 points. In Monterey Bay, I'm going to draw here. As far as for me, I like to pick a couple of draws because there's typically a couple of draws. You going switchbacks or you going Monterey Bay Union or draw?
I think go draw.
Orange County and Sac Republic, both teams kind of struggling actually.
Mm-hmm.
For there's Sac Republic 1-2-1, Orange County 1-1-2, 5 points, 4 points. It is Orange County. I'm gonna go Sacramento, even though I don't like it, but I'm gonna go Sacramento.
I go draw on this one.
That's actually probably the best result for San Antonio. Phoenix Rising hosting Detroit City FC. Rising got the win, their first win. They're starting to get healthy. Detroit City 2-1, so solid team defensively. Offensively, I think they can do. Defensively through here, I'm going to go Rising. I liked what I saw from Rising, even though it sucked coming against San Antonio. I think once healthy,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be a very good team if they can figure it out. But you know, you know, Detroit City's a team that you don't sleep on.
I think Detroit pulls the upset. I think defense. I think they probably watch what they did from this last game. They make the right adjustments, and they're probably going to stifle that offense, slow down that offense, and they're going to sneak. They'll sneak out a win.
And in the last match of the weekend, which I believe is Sunday, pretty sure it's Sunday. Birmingham, who fired their coach first, the first one here, and then Tampa Bay fired their coach yesterday. They host El Paso. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Last match is tonight is the Phoenix Rising Detroit City. So tomorrow El Paso travels to Birmingham. I think the Legion have underperformed. I'm really big on new coaches getting a bump, so that's why I picked both Tampa and I do think Legion. El Paso's done well. Set pieces. Don't give them a set piece because they tend to score on set pieces. Outside of that, I'm not seeing a whole lot. But you got Birmingham, you got El Paso, or the Royce's favorite, a draw.
El Paso does give up goals from distance, so I'm gonna go Birmingham. I think that I don't think El Paso plays well on turf, so I'm gonna go Birmingham.
And it's a big field too, so
Mm-hmm.
For that here. So, and Royce, if you want to make any changes, let us know here, and we'll do it here. But I didn't want to bother you since we were trying to do this and it's last minute here. And then the final thing on our sheet here, weather, because Royce is like he's the weather forecast. Low 80s with 15-mile-per-hour winds from the south-southeast. 0% chance of participation or precipitation for that here. Hopefully, there's 100% chance of participation for that here. So it should be a wonderful night to come out. You want to talk about the tailgate here?
Sure. So we'll be like I said, another tailgate out there. We'll have some. I think we're doing pulled pork. Thanks to Chris Cardoni for smoking it up on the pork butts. So make sure you're there. Starts at 4. We'll have a piñata again, courtesy of Matt, and I think someone's celebrating a birthday, I believe. So we'll have that for the kids.
Shots. Oh wait, no, never mind.
And then and then beverages again to our sponsor, our official beer, Ranger Creek. So shout out to them. Like I said, we'll have that, and then just have a good time there. And then we're probably gonna try to pack it a little early because everyone wants to get a ring. So if you're there early, first 5,000 fans gets that nice little shiny ring. I got the other ring, so I have that one. So
did you? I didn't pre-order. I'm regretting that I didn't do that. I should.
So I have that. I don't know if I should wear it at the game or not, but
So.
But it's like I said, should be a fun game. I know there's some things going around town. Like I said, I know we have like a Poitiers Strawberry Festival. I think Gunslinger's playing today, but I think still have a good turnout for this game. And uh, we need to bounce back. So the fans need to kind of get pumped up. You know, uh, be loud, get get the boys motivated, and we definitely need to get these 3 points before we face Colorado on the 23rd. Like I said, we'll bounce back. Like I said, the players still came after the game. They were optimistic, and that's great. That's great to see. They have their heads down on it. It happens. We're not going to win all of them. So hopefully we'll get a bounce back. We'll get the 3 points and then get ready for Colorado in a couple weeks. I know next year we'll have Open Cup too as well. I think they're going to Omaha, so hopefully we can win that one too. But yeah, turnout should be fun, and hey, just be loud.
So a little thing from me, something that we are trying to do. I want to thank MCS for being kind of an unofficial sponsor. I'm sure if I wanted to talk to him, we could probably get something a little bit more permanent. But I know Rafa's got some things coming in the work. So probably going forward, probably in a week or two, hopefully, we will start having some advertising reads for local businesses along those lines here. Um, so if you can, we want to try to support local like MCS here for that here, and like I said here, I know Rafa's working on a couple of them, one or maybe more of little sponsors that we have. And it's just more to give shout outs to local businesses through here. I know we're not the largest podcast, video podcast, but we are one of the longest ones that has been doing this for San Antonio soccer. We do have a pretty good reach for that here. So if you do want to, pass your information, I don't even know what we'd want for sponsorship for that here, just because we're two guys or three guys or four guys, depending on the week, that just to gets together to talk about. But we do want to try to do it. I know Rafa with the high schools is trying to do some stuff a little bit more. Maybe with SAFC, the Fancast here, if we get some sponsorship for it, we might do a little bit. I know we work with Raz, so that's why her information is in the
Mm-hmm.
promotion. We'll probably start trying to do a little bit more read, for her since it is soccer season. Since she'll be finishing up for schooling, probably in the next couple of weeks, month or so, to where maybe she'll be able to do a little bit more photography. I did see her at Toyota Field credentialed, and I know she had the huge accomplishment of being credentialed for I think it was the U.S. Women's National Team,
Women's national team, yeah.
and then she had the photograph with Jordan Farr highlighted there. So very very happy to see the work that she's done here. So just kind of heads up, we are probably going to start sprinkling in some reads of local businesses here for that here. It's not behind the scenes here. This costs us money for it here. And like I said, we don't do it for the money or for the praise or anything along those lines here for the
Mm-hmm.
clicks. I do it because I like to do it. So I had to be with my friends and talk soccer and other stuff and give each other grief. And hopefully that's what it comes out to when it comes out to you guys. But just to give you a heads up, going forward, we will probably try to do it. Also going forward, I'm going to try to see if I can train Royce and Rafa, although Royce needs to get his computer stuff worked out a little bit better to where he can actually host these things, or if he wants to do shows, or if Rafa wants to do shows. I think Matt's earned the trust. Where if he wants to do the trust, I think he's kind of earned that point. Robert, sorry man, you still haven't.
It's because he's a Vikings fan. That's why.
Viking fans, yeah, and he's an Agudelo fan as well. Here, so but please, if you can support local, especially small businesses, which is what we're going to try to highlight here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said here, MCS will probably be the first one here. I'm probably going to try to reach out to them, see if I can get some sort of official read for him. I know he
Yeah.
sponsors a couple other local podcasts for that here, but just to see if I can get something officially for him to where maybe we can implement it either in the initial preview or maybe an outro over it here. But Rafa, we'll see you later on this evening. You
Hmm.
planning on being in 114 or the
We'll see
119?
we'll see what Matt where he needs me. I guess well, it depends. But I do want to give a shout out to Diana Fuertes, real estate, local San Antonio. So if you need a good real estate agent, reach out to her. I said I have her contact info, so reach out to me and I can pass her contact information. She went out there for our game there at last
That's
week.
gonna be the first one.
Yeah. So shout out to them. And then hopefully at least other things, maybe we can get some really nice black t-shirts and stuff. We can get some crappy ones and all that. But or maybe we can throw some scarves into it. But we're gonna have fun. We're gonna like I said, we're gonna have fun. We would do this for fun. We're not here for the clicks. It's just more it's a group of us that love soccer, especially SAFC, also the high school one too as well. And it's been growing since the inception, and we love it. Like I said, I think with this for us here this season, I think this could be a special season. I think the boys are really noted. Yeah, we had a little setback, but hey, we're looking forward to tonight. Cheer them on, be as loud as you can because they need your support. And like I said, and I guarantee we'll get those 3 points today.
So we're gonna check out of here. I'm gonna get this uploaded because AJ's got a match, and then from his director's cut match, which he's playing against a Lone Star team out of Austin who finished top 3, top 4 in Challenger. So it should be an interesting match
Mm-hmm.
for them to see if they can get some points. If
Good
they
luck
do
to
get
him.
points, the next match is a game they should win. They could possibly advance to the next round in Directors Cup, which would be a great accomplishment. But what's life without goals? We're out of here. Be safe, and I look forward to seeing everybody tonight.